Hey y'all, this is Patriot Prepper, and this vid is about, well, it's a continuation of our natural health for preppers. And some of you know I went out to North Carolina. During the summer months I travel extensively all over. I'll be back in North Carolina again, and up in Montana, and out in Colorado. I'll be out. I usually travel during the summer times, and my residences, I have 2 residences in South Florida. And it gets a little bit hot. Anyway, on the way to North Carolina, I stopped up to see one of my buddies. He has a place in Florida. He's got about 5 residents across the United States, but he was up there in Florida. So I stopped by and we did a little video on sprouting, because he was involved with me in the sprouting thing, and we both went through the Hippocrates program, and both involved in natural health. And so I want to give you a little introduction of what we're going to talk about. He's going to show you how to really do a great job at sprouting. And you know, he's probably one of the best at sprouting, man. His sprouts are always excellent quality, and he knows a lot about it. And we've both been doing this for, you know, gosh, you know, we've been prepping for over 30 years. So all right, in this program of health that I teach you, we both, all the preppers in our community are into the natural health. They've all converted to it. And what you learn is that you got to cleanse, detoxify your system and cleanse your system to get it running efficiently. Imagine, project yourself out in Australia. You know those little, you've probably heard about those little skinny little Aborigines. You know, these guys, they'll run through the desert, through hot, unbearable climate for 3 days, 20-some miles a day. And they don't eat big meals like Americans. They have a little, maybe a handful. Some of them, I think, just do it on water. Well, that's how we were. We were a lot skinnier than what we are now when we were fully devoted to the Hippocrates plan. I mean, we lived on this for years and years. I lived on it basically, almost, you know, 2 years extensively and 7 years on and off. And now we still employ most of the principles, and we do detox and we do cleanse. But imagine being your body running efficiently to where you can operate like that. You know, in the past, I mean, I've lived on just pure water for weeks at a time. And we also used to do little things like spirulina. You know, carry a big couple pounds of spirulina and live on that and just do all kinds of extensive survival things outdoors, you know, for like a week or longer. And also a bag of bee pollen. All we need is a little bit of water and bee pollen, or a little bit of water and spirulina, and we can go for weeks and have good energy level, high concentration powers, you know, physically demanding things, so you can get your body running efficiently. And that's what natural health is all about. You know, most Americans can't be healthy today. They're not even healthy today. What's going to happen when the SHTF hits the fan? I have been using alternative natural health methods for over 30 years now, and I have not been to a doctor during that period. I have not been sick. I don't have any diseases. I'm not on any pharmaceutical drugs. I'm not on any over-the-counter drugs. And I don't watch my health as much as I used to, and I should probably work at it more. But once you detox and cleanse your system, it's amazing what it does. In Hippocrates, it says it takes about 7 years to detoxify your physical body, 7 years for your emotional body, and 7 years for your spiritual body. Now, you know, that's has a ring of truth in it, but you can do an awful lot by just detoxifying your body for short periods of time. And we're going to go through that at some point and show you how to do it. But that's why sprouts are so effective. I've got some videos of, I used to have a luxury high-rise condo that I lived in right in a country club, and man, I used to grow what's called indoor gardens. I had like trays and trays of sprouts that I would grow into greens, like sunflower, buckwheat, and wheatgrass, on top of all the other types of sprouts. And you can live on this stuff if you do it right. There's a lot of keys and secrets to it, and you can, if you want, go to Hippocrates Health Institute and learn all that. You know, spend 3 weeks there. I think they're a little expensive and out of the reach of a lot of preppers, but anyway, I had rows of indoor greens. I'm going to try to find that footage. Anyway, to get in the program, that's what you're about to see. So think again. of the Aborigines, those skinny little guys running through the desert, living on nothing, running 20-some miles a day. That's how we were. Man, I was skinny like a little rail, but strong and had a lot more endurance than I do now. And, you know, some people might think you have AIDS, but think of those little Aborigines. So that's what we were like. We were like little Aborigines, except, you know, like we weren't black. We're white Aborigines or albino kind of Aborigines. But that's the concept. Efficiency, operating your body efficiency. Now, also keep in mind, my friend like Jay Bird and me, man, we abused our bodies. I mean, at one point, I know even he said he almost gave up until he found all these health secrets. Because, I mean, man, we partied. We were both hard party type of guys. He was a Christian since a child, and so was I, but we did go off into a wrong path for short periods of time. Not too far. He was never as far out as I did. He always walked pretty close to the path. But, you know, he did live hard, and, you know, then he got himself together. And so I want to say that you guys got to keep pushing towards health. You got to get healthy now, because when things get bad, you're not going to have as many health options. If you follow this program for prepping, man, it makes you so much easier. So much easier. I mean, you'll be healthier, and it's easier to prep. And here's why I want to keep emphasizing this. People aren't even healthy today, and they're storing these types of food that are continually going to destroy their health even further. So you got to build up your health now while you have the opportunity. You know, it's amazing. A lot of these guys aren't healthy today. You know, I don't count guys that are in their 20s and 30s. You know, that bad habits don't even show up till you hit about 40s and 50s. So just want to keep in mind, get healthy today. So that's why I'm putting this series out. It makes prepping easier, survival is easier, and you're healthier, not only today, but in the future. You'll be, if you follow the program that I outlay, you'll actually get healthier than what you were now. So bear that all in mind. So God bless you. We'll go to the sprouting videos. All right, we're rolling. This is Patriot Prepper. I'm just going to show you guys how to do something that's highly, incredibly nutritious, simple to do, but also something that is extremely, extremely healthy and can be done in survival situations when you can't have other types of food, and that's called sprouting. This is the healthiest thing you could do because it's filled with incredibly nutritious enzymes and all kinds of vitamins. It increases the bioavailability of every one of these the beans and seeds, that anything you sprout. It just increases the nutritional value. All right, well, I'm actually at one of my friend's house, and he started doing this, so I thought I'd videotape it. He's the guy that actually got me into prepping. He wants to remain anonymous. He doesn't want to be on the video. We'll try to see if I can even get him to talk a bit here. He doesn't want his real name to be known, so we'll call him, well, I won't tell you his real name, but his AKA is Joe. Yo, Joe.
Hey, how's it going?
What was that?
How's it going?
It's going good.
Good, good, good.
Okay. Well, right here, what do we got here, Joe?
Well, those are mung beans, Paul.
Good job of keeping names anonymous there, Joe.
Okay, Jack, those are mung beans. We'll edit that out.
Okay.
And then the next bag is green lentils.
All right, hold on. These are mungs right here.
Yes. Yeah, they're probably the easiest to sprout.
Easiest to sprout. Yeah. Okay, here's what is this? These are the lentils.
Green lentils.
Green lentils. And then we've got azukis.
And then the beautiful mung, or I mean the garbanzo.
These
are
chickpea. Chickpea, garbanzo, either name. Okay, these are basically what we're going to show you is that it's something really simple to do. Within 2 days, you'll have sprouts that are ready to eat.
You have a very nutritious meal ready to go. Sprouts. Basically, the seed, when it sprouts, it's at its most powerful and simplest form, breaks down into a simple sugar. So you only want to let the sprout grow Probably a 1/4 inch is the longest you want it to grow. What you do initially is you put the sprouts in a jar, about a cup of sprouts, seeds. You fill it with water up to pretty close to the top. In fact, we're gonna do the mung beans here. We're gonna bring them over here. The important thing is you want to soak them up good. And I've learned that soaking for about 18 hours works best. They tell you to do it just overnight, but they won't sprout as quickly. The important thing is these seeds are always, and the beans are always dirty. So about the first 4 to 5 hours, they start to soften up a little bit. What you want to do is you take the jar and you put the lid on it. You always want to moisten the lid first. They're very hard to get on and off otherwise when they're dry. You get, these are commercially available complete for about $4.90. At a store you might pay up to $10 in a health food store. So you get the lid on there, and then what you do after about 4 hours, you shake them up really well. And then the water will get, you'll just see it'll get really dirty, and just rinse that out, because that dirt will get kind of like a bacteria, and then your sprouts won't turn out as well. So what I want you to do is soak them up really good for about 4 hours first, clean them, then fill it back up to here with nice fresh water, and then it would be 14 hours later, so it's about an 18-hour process. You pour the water out, so then when they're ready to go at the end of the 18 hours, you would take this, pour this out, and then you rinse them about 4 or 5 times thoroughly. And the sprout gets sort of, it gets delicate, so on the screen you want to be careful about how you shake them around and stuff. After they start to get, the water soaks them, they soften up, so you don't want to be shaking them too abruptly. So just get them in, you shake them so they lay on the bottom, and you pour it out. That'd be like your last pour. So you take it like this, you drain all the water till it just starts to drip, drip, drip. You gotta leave a little bit of water in there, but not too much, otherwise it spoils. So right about there. And you set these down, preferably out of sunlight. 3 times a day you soak it just like that, about 3 or 4 times. Thorough rinse, drain it out, same way, let them lay on the bottom. And you want to be careful also about the sprouts near the opening here. You don't want to kick them back a little bit, because those dry up on you and they won't sprout. So there they are, nice. They're all laying on the bottom. It's a little moist down here. So these, in about, probably after that first thorough rinsing, when you dump all the initial water out and then you rinse them for the day, the next day they'll be ready to eat. They'll start to sprout out. In fact, we can show you what they look like. So you do that with each of these. The garbanzo beans tend to expand quite a bit. This jar will be about up to here with garbanzo beans after the 18 hours. So sometimes you might need to use 2 jars. It's something you want to play with, but this will produce a lot of food. The azukis are probably the most difficult. They take the longest. And the garbanzos, I want to mention that you got to keep them really clean. When I was saying about cleaning the dirt off and stuff, because they tend to spoil. They get a foul smell, so you got to really thoroughly rinse them. But when this stuff's ready to go, you just pour a little oil and vinegar on them, and boy, you got a great salad. Mm-hmm. It's the healthiest thing you could possibly eat if you look into the Hippocrates Health Institute and their way of eating and living. That's something that Jack and myself, we did back in the 80s and learned how to live on this
Who's
stuff.
Jack? Me?
You're Jack.
I'm Patriot Prepper. You could say Patriot Prepper, just don't use my real name.
Patriot Prepper, yeah. He and I went through this program with Hippocrates, so I think the Lord probably led us to this. We learned this over 20 years ago.
30 years ago.
And we were eating this.
It's over 30 years.
30 years, yep. A full meal every day, and this is totally sustainable. You won't need much sleep. And in the eventuality of food being unavailable or less available, you can buy these in 25-pound bags. You can get them locally at your store like I did here. Let me show you. Go in and buy 5 pounds or so. Just fill up a bag of green lentils. There we go. Now that's probably a year's worth of eating right there. These sprouts will last about a week. We can even show you what we got in the come on over here, Patriot Prepper. Let me show you what the sprouts look like when they're finished. Here's some mung beans. Now don't they look delicious? That's recently sprouted. That's what they look like.
That looks good.
Sprouts on there. We'll have those this evening.
Yep.
It's a great meal. You can even sprout. They make nylon bags. You can sprout. I used to use them to travel.
when you're on the move, you can.
When I was on the move.
Yep. You could also put them in your backpack like you're walking.
Yep. It's a great source of protein. Great source of.
I want to say something about those garbanzos at Hippocrates Health Institute. They call them the macho sprout, because it's filled with super amount of protein. So a lot of guys are just so into like getting protein from animal food, which is going to could be very difficult when you're prepping.
Yep, fresh foods.
You know,
refrigerated.
Fresh food's going to be a lot harder. It takes very intensive growing it. It exposes you to danger because you're out there trying to, you know, everybody sees your cow or your pig or whatever you're doing, or some
wild animals. I mean, it's a seasonal thing. If you don't have proper licensing, you get in trouble. Unfortunately, we can't live like our ancestors did and take what we need, harvest what we need. So this is a great way that we've learned to sustain ourselves, and really the Lord has led us to this. Many years ago, who would ever have thought that you get to the point where this is again, you got to moisten these, that this could become a great way to sustain oneself when food might be unavailable. You go to your local food store, the shelves are empty. Like back in, let me come around the backside. Back in Germany, during the Weimar Republic, I think it was in the mid-20s. There was, you know, the food was going up while you stood in line. The price of everything was, when you walked in the store, by the time you got to the front of the line, it was more expensive. So if we get into a situation like that, this could be a great way for a person to dine. So what we've done, it'll really trim the weight off you, get you down to a good weight where you need to be, and all you need is a little vinegar and oil. And there you go. Let's put some more water on here to actually soak these. This will be our meal in 2 days. Just a little something we thought we might show you here. We just need to do it at the house, and Patriot Prepper stopped by and says, hey, let's put this on the video. So there you go. If you have any questions, you can contact the prepper. He'll guide you to even, I think it was Survival into the 21st Century was the book that teaches all about this, and also some books by Ann Wigmore. If you want more information, pretty good stuff.
Yep. Yeah, we went through the whole Hippocrates program. We also lived on it for a couple years. Your wife has gone. His
she did too.
Joe's wife has went through the program. Yeah, and we lived it. We don't do it, you know, exclusively now, but we know how to do it, and we've lived on it for a couple years at a time. I mean, you go down, you get down, your body gets so efficient at absorbing food and nutrition that it can live on just basic things.
Yeah, you'll find yourself needing far less sleep. You'll eat much smaller meals. You're light on your feet, quick. Your mind will be quick, and it's something that I'm actually starting to get back into a little more seriously, just because it's a great thing to be doing every day of the year.
Yep, we also do the wheatgrass and the buckwheat, sunflower greens. You grow those and juice them. I have that on one of my other videos. If you wanted to take a look at it, probably have to go into more detail on the growing the wheatgrass.
There's fish soup on there.
There's the lentils. There's the mung beans, the garbanzos. That's just in a spoon. It's easy to eat with a spoon.
It looks like a nice salad, doesn't
Get
it?
the broccoli. That's a great salad. Get the broccoli. You get a couple spoons. Yeah, Mookie. That's a nice meal. Come on, Mia.
All right, I'm turning off.
Fish soup in here.
Yeah.
Prepper meal.
What kind of soup is that?
Fish soup. It just has
It's
all
called
different types of
Chiapino.
fish with tomato paste.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is Patriot Prepper. I'm back about 4 hours later, checking up on these sprouts. You can see, if you recall, I'll put together. You see the cloudy water.
See in the back.
See that little, yeah, you see that rim of cloudiness?
Because
we're going to rinse
these.
these.
Swollen up. This was down to here when we started.
Yep.
Look at these. These were down to here when we started. Remember I said they were going to fill up, but by tomorrow These garbanzos will be up here, so you got to make sure you put all that water. But right now, we're going to rinse them and clean them. Remember, I was talking about 4 hours later, you want to shake them up. So now we can demonstrate. You can be pretty hardy with it because they're not really soaked and they're not soft that much. So right now, we're going to shake them up real good, and we're going to show you how the water gets really cloudy. Then we're going to rinse them. Then we're going to fill them back up and let them sit all night. So we'll do this first because you just gets one of the dirtiest. It's Miyachi. Okay, here we go.
You don't want your cat on there.
Okay, here we go. So we're going to shake this up.
And you want to be careful not to damage them, don't you? After
look how dirty that water is. Remember I was saying how dirty they were? See, they come out, pick them, they don't clean them. So you got to get that stuff out because this stuff by tomorrow, if you start to see white bubbles and stuff, the water's starting to ferment. And then you got to rinse them really good, like maybe 10 times with also very cold water. The coldest you can. So you can see as we pour it out, look down here in the sink, Mr. Prepper. Watch how dark this stuff is. See how dark that is, folks? So what'll happen is that'll cause fermentation because there are bacteria in the air, which are a bad bacteria that we need called E. coli, Erythemus coli, I believe it's called. Don't hold me to it. It's called E. coli, and we have them in our colon, and they occur naturally. These are actually starting to see the sprouts. You can see the very tips of these garbanzos. See the little white part coming out of them? They're starting to soften up. So these will be sprouted by tomorrow.
It's only 4 hours later, so yeah. This is pretty
fast. It might be 6 hours.
Yeah, it might be about 6 hours. I think we lost track of time. We had dinner, and we were looking at some gold. We were looking at guns.
We took a video of that. Yeah, Patriot Prepper brought his guns with him when we were checking those out. I always like to check that out. Personally, I'm non-violent. Okay, let's put this over here. Now we'll go to the Azukis. These will be tomorrow. The water will be red. Okay, shake them up good. Okay, not bad. Those garbanzos are always the worst. I think the mung beans would be. Look at the water. Boy, oh boy. Rinse them out good. So water's cheap. So you want to do lots and lots of rinsing. You can't over rinse. You can under rinse, but you can't over rinse. So when you rinse these things tomorrow, make sure you rinse them and rinse them and rinse them so the water's clear, the smell is good. If there's any kind of a unusual smell to the fermentation, because the E. coli gets in there, and any kind of grain or probably seed stuff starts to ferment, that water will ferment.
We used to make a fermented drink out of sprouted wheats. I can't Rejuvelac.
Yep, rice and any grain, rice.
Yeah, we used to make a fermented thing called Rejuvelac. It was fermented, but there were some problems with that too, because if you didn't get the right strain, the right temperatures, like you said, you can get some bad strains of bacteria.
And why did they have you doing that, Patriot?
They were doing it just as to probiotics.
Yeah, right.
To create probiotics. Kind of like probiotics, like it's almost like a natural yogurt when you ferment this, or like a sauerkraut.
Well, the idea of the Ann Wigmore program was to keep the colon. They said death starts in the colon. So we're getting a little off base here, but that was the whole theory, and that's the truth. So you want to keep the proteins down to a minimum. And
yeah, I try to tell people about the low protein, but I think people are under a false assumption that protein is a big thing. And for prepping, if you can wean yourself from a high protein diet, which is actually harmful, is better out when there's a scarcity of animal type food or any high protein foods. You know, it's better to get your body acclimated to low protein diet.
And folks, really, when you think about it, the animal proteins are secondary protein. The animal had to eat either grains or seeds or leaves or grass or whatever, and it takes more food to develop that animal than you actually gain from it. It's a secondary protein. It takes more energy to create that animal than it does for you just to eat these sprouts and stuff. So there's a lot of positive things about vegetarian eating. Here we go. But we'll say that for another day.
Yeah, because a lot of preppers are hunters, and
Right.
which is cool, you know. But I mean, it's not a really economical or efficient way of providing food when there's going to be shortages, and you're going to be.
Plus, everybody's out on top of each other hunting.
Yeah, everybody's out on top of each other hunting, and they hunt out all the game in a local area, and then it's gone. And animals aren't dumb. When they hear millions of gunshots and see their brethren felled, they're going to be like.
You got to get them in season, see, because
Well, that's true.
The game warden will be out there.
Yeah, that'll be a part of martial law. They'll be
Yep.
able to say, "Hey, man, you're hunting out of season. That's a death penalty."
Now another few hours, probably by morning. It's about 8 p.m. So by morning, these would be raring to go. These Azukis take a little longer. They don't sprout as well. You got to rinse them quite a bit. They might take 3 or 4 days, and sometimes, if the seed's not really fresh, they don't sprout uniformly, and that's a problem. You need to get rid of them, and you really want to get fresh seed, fresh beans, whatever it is using. Usually we do sweet peas, whole grain peas, a great flavor. They're very hard to get. I don't have them right now. And you can just about sprout any bean, any seed. So we always do alfalfa, which we don't have here. It's a little teeny tiny seed. And that's where you get your greens from, your chlorophyll. So we use that, and then we sprout 5, so we've got the lentils.
And a lot of people, another thing, even if you're not going to sprout it for sprouts, beans or wheat or anything like that you eat, you should soak it and let it start to sprout, even if you're going to cook it.
Makes it easy to digest.
Yeah, it digests a lot
This is such
easier.
simple stuff to digest, plus you can always make a soup out of it.
This is like the ultimate survival food. Part of the program, you know. It's not the complete program, but it's the basic start, man.
One of the cornerstones. And the thing is, when this stuff goes bad for sprouting, you could always just make soup from it.
Yep.
Another great way to have a meal.
Okay.
So thank you very much. I'm glad we were here to get this in. It's an important point. So that was about 4 to 6 hours later. You got to rinse those sprouts, clean them up, and then keep them soaking.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Well, yeah, this is Patriot Prepper. I probably won't be here to see these sprouts. I'm taking off out of town, and I won't be here. Hey, you want to review some gold and a couple guns?
That's it for now.
All right. Well, this is Joe saying goodbye.
Goodbye.
And this is Patriot Prepper saying goodbye, and want to tell you to do one thing, and that's to keep on prepping. Keep it up. God bless you. Thank you. And this is Patriot Prepper over and out.